Well, hey, good morning, everybody. This is Justice's Waiting Room. My name is Jared. I am your host. We are live on YouTube and Twitch. Likely Alien is the account name on both. And the party that cannot keep from hitting itself in the face over and over and over. The only group of people I've ever known in my life that could beat themselves in a fight they're winning. The Democrats voted to condemn socialism yesterday as Zohran Mamdani, a Democratic socialist, met with President Trump in the White House. And oh, by the way, he absolutely blew Donald Trump away. Also, Marjorie Taylor Greene's retiring. But these fucking people, all of them, replaced them yesterday. They didn't vote to condemn socialism. They voted to embrace capitalism. Uh, One of the things that I wanted to make sure that we talk about is that a lot of people are very easily distracted, like a fucking squirrel. When the people that are supposed to be on your side are voting to condemn socialism. As I've said before, Democrats and Republicans are friends. They live in the same neighborhoods. They're on the same teams. They have the same billionaire masters. There's a reason that I'm here every day. There's a reason that I founded the American Socialist Party. So we need people that will swear fealty to all of us instead of to billionaires. Democrats are just fine letting people fucking starve and letting people go broke. Each of these people, they didn't so much condemn socialism as they embraced this late stage capitalistic nightmare that we live in. Moskowitz, Florida, guy from Indiana, Frank Mervan, Pete Aguilar. There's plenty of people on these lists. Vote those people out. Yeah. So understand, an elected official gets some of the greatest healthcare in the world. Hmm? Marjorie Taylor Greene resigning, everybody's like, "Oh, that's the best thing ever." Yeah, 5 years after she started, meaning she gets a pension out of your tax dollars. We're happy with this. I keep seeing people that say that they're on my side, sharing talking about Candace Owens and fucking Ben Shapiro, and it's like, did you forget those motherfuckers are traitors? Did you forget Marjorie Taylor Greene is a fucking traitor, trying to back out slowly? I think we'll let the Atlanta News first tell you the story of Marjorie Taylor Greene announcing her retirement January 5th, 2026. Okay. And just like every other bully ever, As soon as she's pressed, she quit. She was a fucking bully. She was a fucking bully until she opposed Donald Trump and they split up and she got fucking scared. She knows this feels like a setup. We've talked about it for months and months and months and months. And for a while, I was a little disillusioned that maybe it wasn't going to fucking happen. But oh no, Don, you want to fuck around? I saw the picture. I saw the picture of Donald Trump knelt in front of Bill Clinton. That shit happened. Oh, I can promise you there's more pictures than that. But again, it's a fucking distraction. Donald Trump is a fucking traitor. I don't give a fuck about any of this other shit. It's funny because he like shits himself constantly. He has a colostomy bag. Under let's explain what socialism is and why Democrats hate it. It threatens them. What is the purpose of a Democrat if there's a socialist in a room? A Democrat's just holding up capitalism and embracing Republican, the MAGA, and trying to we got to work with them. These are our colleagues, right? So remember, we have to be able to define socialism, and that is your first and only question for anyone opposing it. Can you just can you just define it for me? And let's go over and I wanna do this because I'm a dickhead. You can see what my camera sees. You see how I'm not reading anything? I'm not on any website. I don't have a fucking dictionary in my hand, right? I want to make sure we take you here for a little ride. Okay? I want you to see this. That's just the screen we're on. Okay? There's us. There's us. There's no like notes, no nothing. Okay? Let's make sure we can define socialism. You need to be able to do this off the top of your head for the rest of your life. What is socialism? Most importantly, pro equality. So let's strip away anything else about socialism and let's make sure that we understand that the flag that socialism gets to fly is pro equality. So let's start there. What problems do we have? Oops. Does that mean Democrats quietly went along with the elimination of DEI? Now, socialism speaks to any social, economic, right? It could be a social theory, it could be economic theory, it could be a government theory that involves what? What? So, pro equality movement, it can be any social, economic, government that involves what? Remember, we talk about it every day. Universal health care, education, income, housing. This is what your tax dollars should be used for. It should not be used to prop up businesses. And in this country, what we do instead of look out for the many people that live in it, we look out for big business first. Okay? We there are major businesses in the United States that get billions and billions of dollars in money from the government every year and they don't actually provide services to us for free. And my theory, the social economic theory states that the government shouldn't use your tax money on something that doesn't benefit everybody. Like roads, like roads should be maintained better, right? We should maintain our roads better. We should have better ground transpo in the United States, right? We should do those things. But yeah, social and when we talk about being pro union and that I'm a syndicalist socialist, meaning that instead of overthrowing the means of production, uh, join a union. So I want to point this out. I'm a syndicalist socialist. I want everyone to have universal health care, education, income, and housing. I'm pro equality, and I think everybody ought to join a union. And Democrats vote to condemn those things. So let's make sure we tear them apart and we say, what's wrong with being pro equality? Oh, nothing? What's wrong with being pro union? Nothing. What's wrong with being pro universal health care, education, income, housing? Nothing. So if there's nothing wrong with being a socialist, why did you vote to condemn it? Because that's what I was programmed to do, and I have no original fucking thoughts, and I actually couldn't even define democracy if you fucking chained me to a chair and tied me to a fucking encyclopedia. See, this is the problem with people, is that they're incredibly fucking stupid. There are hundreds of elected officials in the United States that are incredibly fucking stupid. Do you know how dumb you have to be? How absolutely like trash can dumb you have to be voting against socialism when a democratic socialist just became the mayor of fucking New York City. Is this thing on? Hello? Hello? Do you know how dumb you have to be? Motherfucking dumb. That's what I think. You think primary them, I'm like, commit them. What the fuck are you talking about? Ask any human being, hey, what's wrong with being pro equality? Uh, Nothing. Oh, okay. What do you think about unions? Oh, I got lots of friends that are pipe fitters and welders, and they're in unions, and they always got a job, and they always driving nice cars and live in nice houses, and you know what I mean? They're always hosting a barbecue. Oh, okay, okay, okay. So we're cool with pro equality. We're cool with unions. How about your healthcare costs? Now, what I've noticed is that once you ask someone, how about your healthcare costs? That's when they get a little choppy. Because, first of all, most people don't know how much they pay for healthcare. Straight away. As someone who asked this question to thousands of people over years of my life, most people don't even know what their healthcare costs. Remember, as a reminder to everyone, I want to remind you, socialism means government officials can't make money in office. So I'm interrupting myself to say the reason that government officials are condemning socialism is because socialists would outwardly condemn other politicians profiting while in office. And Democrats, there's a reason that they haven't banned stock trading, and it's because Democrats are learning that this is a money game, and if we don't have some money, the socialists are going to rise up in this country and take our jobs. And then understand the reason that there's two parties is so no one is ever held accountable. And so we need the American Socialist Party to rise up in this country to hold all these elected officials that have been working together. This machine is running as it's supposed to run. Now, understand the difference between Democrats and Republicans is Democrats play within the rules. Most of the time, recently we just saw uh, somebody go to prison, Praz, for 15 years for illegal campaign donations. I just want to point out that they are furthering the myth that like Teflon Don, and I think it's a big old floppy setup. I think the problem that happened was MAGA, and the MAGA, it's out of hand. And so what they realized is if we try to hold Donald Trump accountable around election time, because of that little fucking thing that happened at Madison Square Garden, you would have had a fucking civil war. In the 9 months that Donald, 10, what, he started president in January, it's fucking December, so he's been president for a year basically. In the year or so he's been the guy, uh, I would just wonder how many MAGA are now dead. Or back in jail for any number of fucking things. And again, I've told you, he cheated in this election. It's gonna come out. We sat around for weeks and weeks and we read the rules. And what did we see? We saw that the US government does not want to chill voters. You don't want to put people in a position where they show up to a polling place and then don't vote. So the reason that there was no Democrat hardcore coming out right around election time calling into question the election is because it carried a fine. And it wasn't that big of a fine, so worth it? Probably. But because there's a fine, there's no action that you could take. We learned this when we read the rules. They changed the rules of the election, okay, because of January 6, 2021. So I think it was a big old setup. Remember, the Democratic Party knew that Donald Trump is intimidated by intelligent women. Keep in mind, he also put money into Hillary Clinton, into Kamala Harris. Millions. Before he became a Republican. Now, drunk with power, dementia, uh, Krasnov, right? Like all these things that have happened since he sought power that have warped this poor old man's brain. Jesus Christ on a bike. Um, but to the point where Democrats are getting fucking nervous. It's pretty clear to me Democrats are real nervous historically when you think about what's going on when you have a two-party system that is failing the American people. It's failing. It's going to happen one day. FDR Dwa is going to come along and say, for too long, wages have been stagnant. The minimum wage in this country is $7.25. And if we had corrected the minimum wage for inflation, it would be $33. So raise your hand if you don't make $33 an hour. Exactly. Exactly. Most people don't make $33 an hour. Most people will never touch $33 an hour. The only way you'll ever even see that rate is in management or a union job. So remember that I told you the reason they came out and condemned socialism is because they have no platform. The Democratic platform is we're not Republicans. Yeah. So if somebody says, if one of your elected officials is opposed to socialism, I want you to break it down fucking Barney style and say, I'm going to call Frank Mervin's office and say, my name is Jared Malott. I live in Indianapolis, Indiana. I'm a fucking socialist. Bitch, what is a socialist? Can you define it? Because I can define it from Webster's dictionary off the top of my head, sir. Any pro equality movement, whether it's social, economic, or governmental, which involves the overthrow of the means of production. I'm a syndicalist, which means I live in reality, and I think everybody ought to join a fucking union. Sir, are you opposed to pro equality? No. Okay. Are you opposed to unions? No. I want everyone to have universal health care, education, income, and housing. What problems do you have with that? None. So You voted against socialism, but I just fucking broke it down for you Barney style, and you aren't opposed to it, you're ignorant to it, and you lose to it. By the way, I hope when people watch this shit back, whether I ever end up in public office or not is irrelevant because that was never my intent. Read my fucking lips. I was perfectly fine being a fucking nobody. I would have just been a fucking football coach, man. God, life was so much easier. Real fucking talk. But I'm telling you, there's a reason we called it Justice's Waiting Room, and as I've said before, the letter of the law is not political. And that's the problem in this country is that the right is now wrong and illegal, and the left just feels like the law. They almost put a woman cop into the office of president. And I don't hate Kamala Harris. I don't have no beef with Kamala Harris. I feel like the media fucking contorted the shit out of her message, and the media failed her. But the media also worked with billionaires to contort this election. And again, I'll say it every day, unfucking that election isn't political. I don't care if you're Democrat or Republican. Fix it. That's your job. And until then, think about what socialists get to do in this country. Socialists just get to look at a great example in Zoran Mamdani and organize and grow. And I promise you, there aren't that many Democrats and Republicans. No one that I have ever met in my entire life calls themselves a Democrat or Republican. Think about that. Most people, they still don't care. Good morning, everybody. Zeke, Angie, Kathleen, Taylor's in here, Squint, Hiya, Kara, Amanda. Yeah. So, I hope you took some notes on your phone or wrote it fucking down. The big deal is you have to start confronting your government officials about their issue with socialism. If they cannot define it for them, ask them what problems do you have with this, and you'll understand who's in their pocket. Oh, I have an issue with universal health care. Okay, so the healthcare lobby is in your pocket. Yes? Oh, okay. Okay. Just as long as we know what to run on you against. I'm going to put someone in your seat that isn't what you know what I'm saying? Like this is exactly what needs to be happening. Oh, you're beholden to the healthcare lobby. Oh, you're beholden to big cigarette or big oil or whatever. Like, like Texans. Okay? Most expensive comic book ever sold, Superman #1, found in an attic. I really should get up in the attic. I've never gotten in the attic in my house. I'm just such a big dude, I'm always afraid I'm going to fall through my attic. I just want to spend a moment this morning and say it's all Final Destination's fault that I am so risk adverse. Morning. I'm sharing the show. Is it pretty interesting? I think it's an interesting story. Remember, as I've said already, when the socialists rise, the Democrats are the ones that hurt because they're in the middle between right and wrong, and then you just have people that are standing outside of that are saying like we shouldn't be using tax dollars to support big business. We should be using tax dollars to keep us all alive. I win. I can pretty much guarantee you I'm winning every contest if I just say, uh, well, I think that I should be in charge because I want to work with all the healthcare companies to eliminate premiums and copays and maximum out of pockets because that money is fruitless. You're not actually getting rich off that. You're just making people broke. So let's just do universal health care, see how it works, and let the government pay for people's health care. Instead of bankrolling the military industrial complex, why don't we just really take care of our military? Focus all that money, let's just lop off like half, fully fund our military. And again, the military is supposed to be nonpartisan. And again, there's people that have talked about the UCMJ and them getting involved. And again, I just want to make sure you understand. The UCMJ shit doesn't happen until power changes hands. And remember, statute of limitations. There's reasons we call it justice's waiting room, and that's because shit isn't gonna pop lickety split. Rome wasn't built in an evening. Okay. A lot of people have come and gone just in the 1 year that we've been here, and I'm 100% that those people uh, don't come around because I'm not moving fast enough. And I want to point out, what do you think happens when I go to the FEC before they vote to condemn socialism and apply to become a political party in the United States? That's exactly right. My application gets denied. The Democrats still come out with this shit. Mhm. They still come out against it, and then they just gave us the greatest gift they could have ever given. Yeah. Oh, there's a box up there. Logging trucks. Oh, I'm absolutely. Look, I'm a grown ass man. Like, I would like to think I'm a bit of a hard ass. I get afraid around semis, um, whether I'm driving or not. Final Destination is to blame for this. Final Destination and Butterfly Effect fucked me up good. Because I started thinking about like the consequences. Sorry, my brain was just like, what's in the box? Yeah. Well, it was mom and dad and kids that lived here before us, which is why every room's a different, vibrant color, which I'm not upset about. All right, Dutch military uses weapons against drones over their Air Force base. We knew this was coming, and yeah, we knew this was coming. So sorry, I wanted to start out with Donald Trump. Picture Donald Trump between Bill Clinton's legs. Facts. Marjorie Taylor Greene quitting Congress. She's getting her fucking pension. She's getting what she was trying to get out of it. She's trying to back out slowly. She knows that she has to live after Donald Trump. If she doesn't oppose him now and work with the government once these trials start and turn on them, he'll turn on her. She's realized that shit. By the way, my wife is here, and of course she's amazing. So you're all welcome. That would be rad if there was. What Taylor? We're gonna have to get up there. I mean, I don't know how, but Ukraine's gonna meet the U.S. and Switzerland to discuss ending the war. Possible parameters of a future peace agreement. Well, I mean, in Sudan, 20 children have died of malnutrition in 1 month. Yeah, no, I don't want to see him in the fucking war. Brazil's ex-president Bolsonaro arrested at his home. U.S. is not influencing this like you think. U.S. tells NATO Zelensky does not sign peace deal. Ukraine will face worse in future, which is not true because all these other countries are stepping up. And again, Donald Trump is a Putin puppet. Russia is drone striking Ukrainian Romania border crossing targets. U.S. G20 envoys agree to draft declaration despite U.S. boycott, and that's what the world's going to have to do. Okay? The world has tried to make food a human right, and the U.S. and Israel voted against it and kept it from happening. And the world has to move on. Hmm. Yep, because it's clear to me that in the United States, the both political parties are beholden to capitalistic tendencies and ideals, up to and including voting to condemn socialism. When again, I want you to call your elected officials. I'm so mad. Call your elected officials, demand to speak with them, and ask them, what is socialism? And when they can't define it, tell them. Yep. We need people in office that want to work with everybody. That sees everyone as a potential ally and has very few enemies, right? Kaja Kallas says Russia is paying lip service to Trump with new peace plan. So again, everybody's like losing their mind. Like, how many times has this happened? And we've sat here every day, and this is what makes me mad, y'all. It's like we talked about all these other countries and their investment into Ukraine. what the US is saying doesn't have anything to do with all these other millions and billions of dollars and aircraft and weapons and missiles that all these other countries have been giving to Ukraine. And so even though the US is coming out and trying to get peace deal, man, they just did that last week. What why is everybody up in arms now? What changed? Did all those countries take all their money and all their gear back? No. What is happening? We are being sensationalized. You are hearing one thing and forgetting another. It's like we have a little rat brain that it only wants the dopamine hit and it can't just remember, hey, all these other countries are stepping up. And the U.S. is still, by the way, supporting Ukraine financially with military assets. So words and actions are two different things. Words and other countries' actions are two different things. So I want to make sure I don't give a fuck what the United States tells Ukraine to do. That shouldn't impact what Ukraine does at all. Because Donald Trump is a fucking Putin puppet. Hmm. Yeah. The flip flopping, yeah. French army chief warning country must prepare to lose children in war. The rest of the world is preparing for war. Journalist says the U.S. Russian the Ukraine the U.S. Russia peace proposal could have been originally written in Russian. From the Kiev Post. Do I have a booger or something? Why is everybody saying "Oh God" in the comments? No. Okay. I mean, I did have a booger, but some of the phrases in the peace proposal drafted by the U.S. and Russia appear to have been originally written in Russian. Luke Harding, writing for The Guardian, highlighted aspects that leaked paper appear to sound unnatural in English, but it would work in translated Russian. I've tried to use my platform to condemn artificial intelligence and tell you that you're being sold a lie. Do not do not engage. Do not use AI on your phone. Don't use it on your computer. About the only thing that happens when I Google something is I'll use the Google summary, but I'm always going to go check a source to make sure that, oh, okay, this is a condensed summary of this. Okay, perfect. I can just read the summary. And if you're not taking that one little extra step to get yourself in front of a real source, it's lazy. That's part of the reason the show exists. I thought I had a book. Okay, I've tried to tell you, artificial intelligence is a fucking joke. It's gonna absolutely destroy the job market. Listen, as somebody who was like a really good student, I could do everything that is required to be a data analyst, but once your professor tells you like this AI shit is is degrading your degree and you need to switch your degree field over into video game development. Now, sure there's a planet, there's a universe in which I'm a video game developer, but it ain't fucking this one. I'm not a programmer. I don't have time for that shit, right? No. And what you keep seeing over and over again is a company imports AI, and what's the first thing that happens? Oh, they get rid of DEI. Why? Because when you look at when you sort programs within a large organization, you look at them by how old the program is. And so the two newest programs that companies have fucking added are what? DEI and AI, right? Well, DEI is going to immediately, AI is going to immediately look at DEI and say that's a new program. It doesn't have a lot of money in it. It doesn't have a lot of employees that are benefiting from it. Cut DEI. I'm not stupid. I wasn't born yesterday. Yes, it's racist, and yes, it follows like the racist tendencies of this country. But the reason that happened is because AI had to fit in somewhere. And the difference is that what the way AI works within a corporation is that people that are data analysts work at every level of your company now. You have people that at work up in the C-suite. You have that are sitting right next to the CEO. And then every one of your executives, they have a data steward. They have somebody that works for them whose job is data handling. And then every department head, they have a data steward. They have a data analyst that's in charge of all the managers that teaches them how data works. Megan said she found the Epstein list. Yeah. And the problem with artificial intelligence, as far as I'm concerned, is that at its best, it's a databasing tool. And as someone who has spent their whole life on a computer, Excel is a database tool. What are we doing? It's not a gigantic step forward. We're gonna put fucking skyscrapers on the moon. No, it's not. It's kind of underwhelming. As someone who like spent 2 years with it in my lap, you know what I mean? It's garbage. It's a tool in the toolkit that you're frequently not going to use. The only thing I found artificial intelligence was good for was writing prompts. You could ask it a question, it'd give you a summary. You could read that, take in some info, go click a couple clicks. Hey, that's like Wikipedia. That's not that valuable. It's just we placed AI on a pedestal when it's not real. It's not an it's not artificial intelligence. It's not thinking on its own. It's learning from us. It's a language learning module. It learns as you use it. Think about having a child that is connected to the internet. You're teaching something that knows less than you. It's learning from you. Somebody said, "I kind of hope it leads us to being hired back." Yeah, well, this is going to happen. So I don't know if I have a link for this yet. Okay. Pope Francis, Disney CEO, oil tycoon. Yeah, I'm not worried about it. Come on, AI, rule the world. Yeah. Yep. Well, Nvidia sold something last night that people are saying that's the bubble bursting. And Nvidia is the one holding it up because Nvidia has all these other big companies under its wing, and all these other companies are paying Nvidia like $100 million a year minimum. But Nvidia divested last night, and there were comments like, "LOL, we're fucked." Like that's the economy right there. It started with a C, I think. Russia says it hasn't received anything official on the U.S. peace plan. Remember, chaos. Canada announced that they are cutting back spending on fighting infectious diseases. Do we think that's what we should be doing? Hey, I'm just asking while they're in Africa that has had Marburg virus and what else do they have? Oh, yeah, Ebola. The fuck are you doing? Taiwanese prosecutors investigate an ex TSMC executive on chip security concerns. Icelandic as a language is dying because of AI and the pervasiveness of the English language. Somebody said, you guys are supposed to be better than us, Canada. Yeah, yeah, this happened yesterday. Holy shit. So, do you remember we recently just shared a story about masked gunmen attacking schools? They hit another one yesterday, abducted 215 people, 200 school children, and 12 teachers at a Nigerian Catholic school. 5.5 magnitude earthquake in central Bangladesh killed 8 people. What is happening all over the world is stupid people are waking up to Curtis Yarvin and his accelerationist shite. And people are biting on it that are in positions of power. Steve Witkoff needs a psychiatrist. Europeans fume at Trump's plan to profit from frozen Russian assets. Wow. Hong Kong man charged with sedition over social media posts inciting others not to vote. I smacked myself in the face, sorry. So again, I want to point out the U.S. Russia peace plan could have been written in Russian, and it involves the president profiting off frozen Russian assets. So I want to continue to poo-poo all you fearmongers that are completely switched off all ability to acknowledge all the other countries that have stepped up to support Ukraine. That's all gone because of this peace plan that you totally think is going to fucking happen. You were talking about it in my comments. I'm calling you out. You're just lucky I'm not saying your name. That ain't going to fucking happen. The president's going to profit from frozen Russian assets, and you just think like everybody's going to sign off on that shit? Fear mongering. That's fear mongering. French foreign minister to hold a call with European counterparts to discuss Ukraine. Ain't nobody. Yeah, Wickoff sucks. I thought they hadn't actually gotten the peace plan, but here's Russia agrees to it. No shit, Russia's gonna agree to it because they get Ukrainian land out of it. It's weird. Zelensky said he won't betray Ukrainian interests. Iranian president says capital move now a necessity as water crisis deepens. Interesting. Canada is moving to permanently control a sedative found in illegal drug markets. Hmm. It's gonna butcher this one. Carisoprodol. I try really hard to pronounce things right because everybody always pronounced my last name growing up. I can't tell you how many times uh, somebody's read my last name and been like, Mallet, Malote, Malo. How about Malot? Oh, fuck my life. And you're like, yeah, you're an idiot. The fuck? So yeah, there's that Carisoprodol. It's interesting. It's in their illegal drugs, and they're looking to control it because it's being used. All right, let's switch to news. Workers, Mother Jones. It's a benzo. Mother Jones. Embarrassing and horrifying. CDC workers describe the new vaccines and autism page. Stupid people are in charge. They're gonna do stupid shit. Remember, Donald Trump's been floating $2,000 tariff checks? That's not happening. Here's Republicans telling Donald Trump, you're not you're not giving out $2,000 stimmies. Okay? Obviously, the major world event that happened yesterday that I like to wait till we've been here for a while to talk about. So, class 4 dependency, are you saying like it causes people to become dependent or it doesn't? Is like class 1 more. Yesterday, Donald Trump fell in love with Zohran Mamdani. Love at first sight. Look at this picture. FAA gives $10,000 bonuses only to controllers and technicians with perfect attendance during the shutdown. Right? Remember, Doge said they were going to make the government efficient again. Hey, Burt Meyer died. The guy that made Light Bright and Rock'em Sock'em Robots. He also made Mousetrap, Toss Across as Mr. Machine. Early 1960s toy inventor Burt Meyer. Yeah. Uh, First ever death from bird flu in humans happened in the United States. Washington State residents' backyard flock of domestic poultry had been exposed to wild birds. A person in the U.S. is believed to be, so I don't know that this has actually been confirmed, the first human to die from a rare strain of bird flu. An older adult with underlying health conditions was being treated for a bird flu strain called H5N5 after becoming seemingly the first known human infected by the strain. They developed a fever, confusion, respiratory problems. Most of them involve mild illnesses. Again, it's not it's not crazy till it's way fatal, right? When you're older and you have underlying health conditions, shit happens. 70 people a year. I have often said over the course of my life, I think I have misattributed a quote to John Locke: the right to extend your fist ends at another man's face. I would also argue that applies to your faith. Meaning, your faith is your own, your salvation's your own. Stop bothering me with it. Stop bothering other people with it. Stop trying to influence other people with your deity. Beliefs clash among students. So I don't want to have a religious argument. Mask up. Yeah, please do. COVID's the real threat. Okay? As far as I'm concerned, until I see otherwise, if 70 people get bird flu a year and only one person dies, that is not a significant CFR. And more people die of the flu. More people get the flu, and more people die of the flu. The flu is a bigger issue, right? Now the problem with the flu, in case anybody cares about what a data analyst thinks about disease, are you ready for this? The flu doesn't kill enough people. If it killed more people, people would be smarter about shit because the flu is all over the fucking place. Okay, COVID is as pervasive as the flu, and it kills. Yep, flu is the issue. Yep. I ever tell you guys I've never had a flu shot? Four guards are being sentenced in a brutal beating death of an incarcerated black man at a New York prison. They were masking up so they didn't see flu cases. Oh, isn't that interesting? Hmm. That Look at this dumbass looking, soft ass looking white boy. Judge set bail Friday for an Indiana man accusing of killing a house cleaner who showed up at his home by mistake. Kurt Anderson of Whitestown. I've just never gotten it. So I don't know, like, if I've never gotten it and I don't like I work from home. I don't ever get sick. Like, am I like the stupid for being like, why would I get a flu shot? I don't leave my house. I've never had the flu. Should I vaccinate against the flu? Should I put it in my body? And every doctor's like, no. So, yeah, it's fucking. Hey, I've tried to say it my whole fucking life. There's nothing, ain't nobody coming to get you, buddy. Nobody's coming to get you. Nobody's coming to your house trying to hurt you. You're not in danger. Nah, fam. Oh, hell yeah. Teachers fend off grizzly that attacks students on a Canadian walking trail, injuring 11 people. It's okay, I get the flu shot. I leave the house. You get sick, it's because of me, yeah. Yeah. Hey. I'm not poo pooing the flu shot. Okay, I just want to point this shit out. How fucking awful it is. How awful is this? In Iran, we've talked about this for about the last week or two. It came up on our radar. Hey, the capital city of Tehran is having a water supply issue, and it's because in Iran the populations are strapped to three major cities in a whole big ass country of Iran, and because they are over reliant on groundwater. This means there are a lot of like springs and fountains in Iran. They've run out of water. And so now they are going to have to move their whole ass capital city. This would be climate change, right? Drought, causing a whole ass capital of a country to fucking move to an undeveloped part of the country. And the US is deporting people back to Iran. What? What? They're having a water issue, man. They're gonna have to move their whole capital city. Why are we sending people there? So they could die? There's not enough water. Yeah. I appreciate people who wear a mask. You should wear a mask. You should value your life over every other thing at work. It's that simple. Unless there's like glass between you and somebody, and then that's the same thing. Jesus fucking Christ. U.S. men have been indicted for an alleged coup to kill and rape people on a Haitian island. Texans plan to utilize unhoused U.S. people to take over Ganav and fulfill rape fantasies. The two men's 21-year-old Gavin Rivers Weisenberg and 20-year-old Tanner Christian Thomas. Christopher. Sorry, it would have been way too on the nose if his middle name was Christian. Um, yeah. And again, I want to point out justice isn't partisan. So when we see, like, oh, they're actually, like, arresting people, trying people, it's not a Democrat hoax. What is this shit? Alabama doing its let's take two steps back and then two more steps back. Yeah, everybody, somebody's got to replace Jeffrey Epstein, but the Alabama Public Library Service Board has approved a gender ideology movement. Books about gender ideology will no longer be allowed. You know what I'm fucking tired of? Polls. I'm tired of polls. This poll says Donald Trump's in hot water, and it's like he should just take a shower. Alabama should stick to riding horses, leave cars for the rest of us. Air will be much cleaner. Yeah. Marjorie Taylor Greene could have led the anti Trump resistance, but the mob boss got his way. Yeah. Alabama's going back, back, and back. Alabama is going to really repress a lot of gay kids. Who is ready to die for Trump's Gaza plan? So far, nobody. Great article title. Here's The Guardian. Trump's Ukraine peace plan is a gift to Vladimir Putin. Of course it is. It's his buddy. Remember, she did 5 years in Congress, so she gets benefits. She's apologizing for being fucking toxic now. Hey, this is because she knows that she has to live after office. She has to be able to leave her house and go out somewhere and not get fucking maters thrown at her face. Like frozen ones. You know what I mean? Like, well, it ain't sweet homosexual Alabama, that's for sure. Right? Sweet home Alabama. It ain't sweet homo. Federal suit seeking names of Jewish employees at Penn sparks backlash. Oh, what? The Trump administration says it needs the information to investigate anti Semitism and accuses the university of flouting a subpoena. Daily Beast. Fawning Trump says, "Call me a despot" to Mamdani. Yeah, yeah. She is looking out for herself. She knows her ass is grass. Trump officials meeting with Russian in Miami spurs questions about latest Ukraine proposal. Yo, yeah, it's not safe for her in Georgia. Georgia. God damn it, Georgia, you deserve so much better. Uh, a judge has paused the lower court ruling regarding Texas's racially gerrymandered map they put out. The Hill reporting Russia hawks not pleased with Trump plan for Ukraine. Two of the Senate GOP's biggest Russia hawks, okay, Mitch McConnell and Roger Wicker from Mississippi. Yep. Why isn't she living on a military base? Alyssa Slotkin has received a bomb threat after urging the military to refuse illegal orders. Now, understand, I read the article, and the what Alito did doesn't actually affect the decision. It's just a timeout. It just says hold on, and then on Monday 5 p.m. both parties gotta present a message, like they gotta come back with like a reason that we shouldn't just put the state in place. You shouldn't be redistricting in the middle of a decade. We don't do that. So the space laser lady, yeah, Marjorie Taylor Greene, January 5th. Yeah. Keep in mind, Alyssa Slotkin had been working hand in hand with Republicans. Remember, she'd voted with them. I want to continue to point out the leopard eating face party eats leopard face. Oh yeah. Think about this. Five Indiana Republicans have been swatted and had death threats because they didn't go along with President Trump's redistricting plan in Indiana. And look at Alyssa Slotkin, who's worked with the Republicans, and we've been giving her shit. She getting fucking bomb threats. Huh? It ain't the violence ain't coming from the left. That's for sure. DeLuzio got bomb threats. 6 congressional Democrats should be hanged for reminding members of the U.S. military to their duty not to obey illegal orders. Fascist, communist, for an afternoon. Trump and Mandani were just two guys from Queens. I fucking hate them. Trump's latest money making scheme. With can't. Yeah, we talked about that yesterday. Donald Trump says he's ending immigration protection for Somalis in Minnesota. Hey, let's look. So, what do you bet? What do you bet? Okay. What percent of the U.S. population are Somali immigrants? Less than 1%. What have we talked about, class? What is Donald Trump's MO? He's a bully and a punk bitch. And this means, much like when he targets trans people, or Venezuelan people, or the Somali people in fucking Minnesota, the smallest population groups in the country, he's just attacking them because he thinks that they won't have any protection. He thinks everyone's just as racist as he is and just as a bigot as he is. Uh huh. And also because he knows that Tim Walz and the Minnesota government are doing like a great job. So ICE is going to go there sooner or later. Mm hmm. Yep. Donnie is just being a bully. You bully. You notice he doesn't pick on like large population groups. And now that my brain's moving, it's like my brain is like, hey, the Democrats voting in mass against socialism motivates me more than ever to found the American Socialist Party. Uh, we'll probably have to do a fundraiser so that we can go ahead and submit our application to the FEC to become a political party. I think the timing is correct. Um, I'm not. I try not to like change my mind on the flip of a coin, but I do try to be present, right? And I think right after a whole bunch of Democrats just shit the bed is a perfect time to say, "And we rise up." You know the song, "And we rise up." Yeah, yeah, like a fucking phoenix. Yeah, that was fucking dumb. Because what is the Democratic platform? Affordability. Mhm. Universal health care, education, income, and housing, and elimination of Citizens United and the U.S. government to stop capitulating to fucking business and foreign interest. How about that? We just fucking decimated every Democrat. Is just that's it's over. And then what is the Republican platform comparatively? Oh yeah, you don't have one either. You're fucking shit trash. So we'll probably start fundraising. I'll have to get my shit together. It's only gonna take $1,000. Obviously, we'll just keep it fucking moving. However much money we raise. I don't want any of it. Eventually, I'm gonna have to take some of it, but I don't want it. Right? That's not why I'm doing it. Not raising money for me. Right? I'll have to figure out how you can give money to me personally. Even though I don't need money personally, uh, I haven't taken money for the longest time. But it's clear to me that I'm gonna have to do some shit. I'm gonna have to found this party. I'm gonna have to get in. I'm gonna have to get back in communication with Pathos and say, okay, you idiots, you didn't pay attention and do better research, and you wanted to help me with this business from years ago. Well, now I'm the founder of the American Socialist Party, and I need your help. And basically, you can pay them for play. You could pay them, and they'll get you interviews, which is what we want, like cover of Time type shit. Yeah. If we can have the America First Party, which is all these techno fascists and accelerationists, right? Then we can have the American Socialist Party, where everyone's pro equality and pro union, because I'm a syndicalist, and most of the successful large socialist parties all over the world are syndicalist, and we follow good examples. Italy, for example, has a strong socialist party, strong union presence, and their unions are protesting over Palestine. So Italy seeming more and more great. Hmm? Yeah. Zeke said, I thought Democrats was for the good guys, helping nature and the working class. Nope, they're for big business. Remember, we've talked about how Republicans and conservatism are fucked because historically Republicans and conservatives, they want to maintain institutions. And when I say maintain institutions, they want the USDA. They want the CDC. They want to maintain those institutions. That's what Republicans should be doing. Democrats are looking to expand programs and benefits, right? So one, people is fiscally responsible historically, conservatives, and the other thinks that we need to invest more tax dollars in the American people, right? But what happens in practice when you give people who they don't have a platform, they don't have any real ideas or dreams, they don't have a mission, there's no improvement to the system, that they just want to be a part of it, baby. They just want a contest, right? They want a popularity contest, and now they're in charge, and now they get to travel and become friends, and you can only be friends with people in government if you agree with them. And I just want to continue to point out that that ain't fucking true at all. The Democrats and Republicans are fucking friends. They're friends. They're neighbors. They're buddies. They're pals. I'm a Democrat, he's a Republican, and we're still fist bumping on this video. Remember that shit? We saw that last week, right? They are on this. One is an elephant and one is a donkey. Slow moving, easy targets, and ultimately incredibly selfish. Incredibly selfish. But yeah, I think we're gonna have to start fundraising here in a couple days. I think the timing is interesting because I was planning on uh, doing it for the new year, right? So I was thinking, hey, yeah, yeah, they try to fool you. Now they just right, it's right out in front of your face. And again, I would just ask, try to think logically. What is wrong with me being a socialist? What is so wrong with being pro equality, meaning that I'm not a bigot and bigotry is not okay? Oh, that's a big problem with Republicans, right? Because bigotry is the name of the game. Oh, the Democrats don't like bigotry either because it involves them calling themselves out, right? Remember, because I remember, what was her name? Hillenbrand? Kristen Hillenbrand, the Democrat, when she was racist about Zohran Mamdani. I don't remember her getting called out by the Democratic Party for that. And in fact, a lot of Democrats haven't signed up to support Zohran Mamdani. So keep that in mind. The problem with the Democratic Party is that it's fractured. There are sects of the Democratic Party. The Republican Party, they may all be traitors, but at least they're all on the same team until they turn on each other. Marjorie Taylor Greene and Donald Trump turning on each other in public. Mayor Abdullah Hammoud after the protests. Dearborn belongs to everyone. There was a hate crime at a Dearborn protest. Detroit Free Press. Only AOC, Bernie, and the candidate progressive in New York also embraced him, and he's Jewish. Mhm. I'm reading news titles, see if there's anything else. Oh, you know what? I watched a video yesterday. Yo, you want to hear a wild fucking story? Jamal Khashoggi and the Khashoggis and fucking Ilya Mann were all killed out of jealousy. Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein were obsessed with Princess Di back in the day. Not gonna lie, that tracks. I remember being a little kid and being like, "Wow, Princess Di is great," and I was like young. What the fuck did I know, right? But Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein were obsessed with Princess Di, and I think they had, and then I think Jamal Khashoggi is Ilya Mann's like nephew. Small fucking world, huh? Yeah. And remember, Donald Trump has fucking dementia, and he's also a fourth grader. So he likes everyone. When he meets you, Dodi Fayed was that? It wasn't Iliaman. It was Dodi Fayed. That was Dodi Fayed was his name. Was Princess Di's boyfriend? Yeah, that's Jamal Khashoggi's fucking. That's the journalist that was murdered that they were bragging about. Yeah, yeah. Oh, and also, remember how the rumors came out that Donald Trump sucked Bill Clinton's cock, and then it was a little too on the fucking nose for me. Uh, if I'm just saying, like his nose on Donald Trump's belly button, or on Bill Clinton's belly button. Um, and so we'd kind of moved on to it being a horse. And I was like, that makes sense. If Donald Trump fucking sucked a horse's cock on camera, that shit you hide. Because that's bestiality. Hey, man, I'm just throwing this out there. But it actually, as it turns out, there's even pictures of that shit of Donald Trump between Bill Clinton's legs. Literally. And it's real. Like past an AI check. So it's looking like Donald Trump probably sucked Bill Clinton's dick too. Yeah. Yeah, it's like beyond we're beyond guessing. We're at the part where we see just the tip. You know what I mean? Where Donald Trump is knelt between Bill Clinton's legs, and you're like, he's got his hands up on his hips. When I do, you know what I'm saying? Like shit's really about to pop off. Hmm. Oh yeah, that's why our Discord's great. Marjorie Taylor Greene has got herself every fucking. Oh, remember Donald Trump didn't get invited to Dick Cheney's funeral. Donald Trump boasted that his funeral will have a much bigger turnout than Dick Cheney's. Hey, I just try to make you laugh because it's wildly fucking inappropriate and it just sucks. So every now and then you just gotta make it funny. Just play a little bit of Eat the Rich, check the weather, and get out of here. Okay. Have a great weekend. If we didn't play War, I'm sorry. But yeah, I mean, in my eyes, hey, shit was really rough for a while, and it's gonna get worse. But man, I really gotta tell you, dumb as fuck. getting absolutely dick all done. But apparently, a man sucked a mean cock. Okay? Things I did not have on my bingo card. Because again, one of the things that's really troubling about it either way, okay, because a lot of people are asking, like, what's the big deal about Donald Trump sucking dick? Okay? The first problem that you have is capitulating to people in positions of power, and I understand that that's alliterative, but that's not what I was aiming for. I'm just saying, if you can be made to suck dick, whether you're bisexual, gay, or not, if you can do that if you can be made to suck dick in a suit, oh, you can be made to do a lot of shit. Okay? Um, if you could be made or bet or lose a bet or dared or uh, coerced at gunpoint to suck a horse's cock, that's a much bigger problem because that means that ultimately you can be made to degrade yourself. So you see how it's a step up from sucking dick on camera? I would argue that it actually doesn't matter if Donald Trump sucked Bill Clinton's dick. That doesn't matter to me at all. If Donald Trump sucked a horse's cock, it's bestiality. Yeah, yeah. No, 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 no. The problem is that that man could be made to do that. Does it make sense now? It's one thing to suck a dick. Hey, man, that's just that's just life. It's another thing. It's another thing if he was made to fuck a horse or suck a horse cock or whatever. And again, I didn't take it off the table. Okay. Yeah. Here's the thing I think. Okay. If Hillary Clinton were a Republican, she would fucking leave Bill Clinton for his best friend. So the fact that the Clintons ain't divorcing over the fact that now everybody's sucking Bill Clinton's dick but Hillary. Hillary knew what she married. Yeah. I'm not saying Hillary's fucking innocent or and one of the things you've never heard me do is extol the virtues of any single politician, like any president. I've never sat here and said well, Bush was great or Obama was great or Clinton was a great president or whatever. These motherfuckers are crazy. Yeah, they don't give a shit about us. All right, so it looks like rain still Southern California. Crazy shit, right? It also looks like there's some precipitation in northwest Washington state. Also, northeast tip of north Minnesota has some moisture. Also, the northeast tip of Minnesota down into north Wisconsin and probably northern Michigan are going to get some snow, I think. Again, I'm not a weatherman, I'm just guessing. And then it looks like there's a storm system moving through Virginia, I think. And then up into the northeast, this looks Vermontish, Maine-ish, Connecticut-ish, off the eastern seaboard way up there. Looks like there's a little rain off the coast of North Carolina. And again, as a admitted not weatherman, I don't know how that moisture is going to interact with the coast. So just keep your eye out open. I know we got some people living in the Carolinas. Um, there's also this big excessive rainfall in like east. I want to. Okay, so I think it's Arkansas. Trying to get my map right. Mississippi, Arkansas, Louisiana, Texas, Oklahoma. in that little gaggle. Excessive rainfall, flooding, and keep in mind we're just acting like this is all normal. By the way, we're just acting like places that don't normally get rain or haven't are now just getting lots of rain and snow. And again, that's part of the reason that we closed the show talking about weather, right? No fucking surprises. I don't want to lose anyone in my audience because we ignored the weather. Okay? We ignored climate change. We didn't use our platform to say, "Hey, well, this shit's weird," right? Okay. Have a good day. Yeah. See you tomorrow.